Whatever, yeah, you're good to go. So we're here with, what's your name again? No, we're here with Joe from Zephyr Wargames. He's bringing us his Fluffle deck profile.
Yep, I got a little twist on the Fluffles, and you're going to see it in a bit. But first, with the original Fluffles, you got Fluffle Dog, the Stratos of the deck, searches any Fluffle or Edge Imp Sabers, adds it to your hand. Then you got the free Fluffle Bear, searches out your toy vendor, sets up your graveyard, all that kind of stuff. As well as I've actually used the other effect of when it's summoned to tribute it and add Poly back from graveyard. I mostly do it if I can successfully bring it off a toy vendor, just because that's a free special summon. Then we've got two Sheep. Sheep is good. It's better in this build at more than one. I see people dropping it down from 3 to 1. Some people go for 2. I think 2 works best for this build because of the additionals that I've got in the deck. It gives the extra Fluffle name without being too cloggy. Then we've got 2 Wings. 3 Wings is too cloggy in my opinion. If you really only get its draw effect off twice, because if you try and get off a 3rd time, then you don't have any more vendors to set up hands and set up graveyard plays. Then for the last of the Fluffles, we have 2 Owls, because I want to get to polymerization as fast as possible, because polymerization in this build is more important than things like Dark Fusion and that kind of stuff, which I did try out, but Dark Fusion became too cloggy. For the Edge Imps, we have 3 Chains. Chains is one of the best Edge Imps other than Sabers, because he just searches your Miracle Fusion. That's really just it. And because of that, he's just too good. And then we have 2 Sabers. In my opinion, the only reason this is the best Edge Imp is just because all the good fusions require Sabers. So you play it at 2 because he can just recur himself all the time, because we also have the free King of the Swamp. King of the Swamp is kind of like the soul link for this build in my opinion, because he allows us to go into our new boss monster of the deck, as well as all the boss monsters, because he just substitutes for any material. So all the Edge Imps he can substitute for. As well as also being able to discard and add Poly to hand, which is why King of Swamps is just so good. Now for my tech, 2 Plasma and 2 Dogma. I love Destiny and Dragoon, and this is purely the only reason why I'm playing these cards. Destiny and Dragoon as well fixes a problem that, in my opinion, the Fluffle deck has, which is, other than Fight for the Tiger's effect and Saber Tiger's effect, we don't have any big beat sticks, and in this kind of like day and age, you need a really strong monster, something that breaks the 3k barrier in my opinion, and Dragoon helps do that for the deck without being too cloggy. King of the Swamps, from before I was saying, is the bridge gap, because he can substitute for any of these. So you're kind of like playing 5 Plasmas and 5 Dogmas in a way, without being cloggy of having 5 Plasmas and 5 Dogmas. I did play Malicious in the deck as well, but Malicious after a while just became too much of a dead draw and was only in there for what you can probably guess is Destiny draw. So that's for the monsters. I think it's like 21 monsters in this deck, or probably like 23. It's a big monster count, but you need it. For the spells, the obvious free toy vendor searches any of your Fluffles when it's sent to grave, lets you draw, lets you mill, lets you fill up your grave. This is probably the best spell in the deck. Other than the free Fight for a Fusion. This card just causes games. Miracle Fusion that can be searched is just too good for a fusion card. And then we have the free Poly. In normal Fluffle decks you'd only play 2 because you have ways of recycling it, but in this deck I just need to see Poly as soon as possible, as it's my main fusion spell. So I play free poly, it's not dead, you can recur it all the time, you can search it back all the time, and you have, other than one card, everything in my deck, in my extra deck is a fusion monster, so I only fusion summon this deck. For draw power, we have 1 day apiece. This card is just so good because this is just an OTK kind of deck. And you 1 day apiece, if you don't have the OTK, you play 1 day apiece, saves your turn, and then you can just OTK for next turn. And it's so you play that. And then you play 2 Destiny draws because we have 4 Destiny heroes. So, and you don't need them all the time. As much as I enjoy Endragoon, you need to get in the mind state of Endragoon is not the main focus of the deck, and he's just a sub focus. So if you have a plasma, as much as you want to play it, just ditch it, draw 2 cards, and just get your OTKs off with the Fluffles, as they're the main part of the deck. And then you play 1 Dark Hole. You can search Zephyr Wargames. I side in the second Dark Hole, which is why I play Dark Hole. And it combos well with Fight First Sheep and all that kind of stuff, so I play that. And I want to try and keep it budget, so all you budget players can play. And then for the only traps you have is just Fusion Reserve. It's just too good. Searches out any fusion material, recurs your polymerizations, so that's the only thing you play. And it's a nice bluff. For the extra deck, it's very simple. You play 3 Tigers, you go into 3 Tigers. I always go into 3 Tigers. So play 3 Tigers, it's just too good, pops all your stuff. 3 Fight First Sheep, I do see people dropping this down to 2, but I personally like 3. It's a really good Armades kind of like card. It just stuns your opponent because they need to get rid of it twice if they want to try and push the game. And other than like the Tiger, if he uses his, with his buffing effect, he's probably your strongest monster when he comes back with 28. 2 Wolf, 3's too much, you only need 2. You only play if you're going to go for game, otherwise you never go into it. You could drop this down to 1, but when I did, I just kind of like I needed another one because if it does get stopped, you need another one to try and go for the OTK again. 1 Leo for the one-offs and 1 Bear. Bear, you play Bear because he is your target for Fusion Reserve. And you play Leo because if you, with King of the Swamps, you can go for a nice game, like a better cowboy really. For the big ones, you play 2 Sabertooth. He's a really good card in my opinion, and you need to play it at 2. You don't really play 2, but it's a weird one. You need him at 2, but you will never play 2. Because the combo of Sabertooth and Tiger is just too good as well, so you play that. And then for the Destiny and Dragoon, I play 2. 3, you can make 3, but you don't need 3. I kind of want to keep that 15th slot for any XCs that I need. And on the day, I had Evil Swarm Nightmare just in case of any pendulum matchups. This isn't really a side deck, but there is some stuff I want to mention. Siding in Dark Hole and Raigeki is needed because if you're going up against a deck that power plays better than you need to have those sided, as well as things like Twin Twisters and Master Restricts and all that kind of stuff. That's just kind of stuff I want to mention. But yeah, that's the deck.
Cool. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the page for us, and we'll bring you more deck profiles, duels, and box openings very, very shortly, including Premium Gold, which everyone needs to be keeping an eye out. So, thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.